This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen?
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Democrats want illegal immigrants voting. They want non-citizens voting. I mean, the thing is, you can come over here and you can get a green card that doesn't give you the ability to vote in our elections. You can come here on a work visa, H-1B, or any other kind of work visa. It doesn't give you the ability to vote because you are not a citizen. These people are crazy.
They're making clear how stupid they are. They're telling the public that they care more about illegals than they do about American citizens. So how are they qualified to even run for office? If you ain't running for office for the American people, what are you running for office for? People need to see that.
I think we don't want to underestimate the blind loyalty that liberals have to their party, and we don't want to underestimate how unbelievably ignorant and uneducated a lot of individuals are in this country, especially California, because K through 12, no, it is not the best school system in the United States of America. It's one of the worst. I lived in California around these individuals in the Bay Area. I can 100% see them seeing that only clip right there and being like, yes, Karen, you're absolutely right. You let him know. I'm looking forward to the other clips.
I have want Spencer Pratt to know that he has given me hope, and he has provided a blueprint for exactly how Republicans need to run in the midterm and going forward. This is what courage looks like. This is what standing on conviction looks like. And you can have courage and you can stand on conviction when you actually have a set of principles that you mean so much, you will defend them in public. So we need more Spencer Pratt and less of this business that we've got. And it does not matter whether or not they elect him. The fact of what Spencer Pratt is doing is, one, he's giving the Republicans a shot they've never had before. But even more than that, what he's doing is making anybody who elects him elect Karen Bass look foolish. And that is valuable. It is valuable outside of California. It is valuable for everybody else to see how poorly regarded people who vote for Karen Bass will be to everyone else in the country. There's still, it doesn't mean, even if you can't win, that doesn't mean there isn't a valuable role that you're playing. But I think he might have a shot. Let's see.
Saca la basura. That's all I'm going to say. And that's what he said. And it's catchy and he's spot on. Take out the trash. It's time to take out the trash. And those two women standing there, they're the trash.
She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe. I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robbins' plan for treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say, 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
So, Councilmember Rahman, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I want to just say to everybody who's watching today, you're going to watch today as Mayor Bass and Spencer Pratt attack me because they want to run against each other in the general election. Each of them thinks that running against each other is what's going to help them win. And they don't want to run against me because my ideas, which are based on real results in my district, which are based on real data, a real analysis of the system, and a focus on accountability and using every dollar as effectively as possible, which we have done in my district. I want to take this citywide. This is why this is happening today.
Councilmember Rahman, we're out of time. I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds to respond to this. Mr. Pratt, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Mayor Bass.
First off, Mayor Bass and I are definitely not working together. I blame this person for burning my house and my parents' house and my town and all my neighbors down. I am not working with Mayor Bass. Second off, if I wanted to run against anybody, it would be the council member who is terrible. Mayor Bass has at least been a mayor for almost 4 years and has, as she talked about earlier, the unions, all the unions endorse Mayor Bass. You think it's easier to run against the incumbent mayor with all the unions or a random city council member who's been a failure for 6 years? I would much rather run against Councilwoman Rahman. Thank you very much.
So I'm liking the response that he has to it. I don't know the councilwoman, but if I was her chief of staff for her campaign, I'd quit. I really would, because the first thing you did was whine and complain about how they're ganging up against you, when he had a very good point up there. I think it was either Celeste or Crystal had put those DMA stats in front of me for homelessness. I can't remember if it was just for LA, if it was just around the country or the state, whatever it was, but the significant amount of individuals that are on drugs. Everyone knows this about especially California homelessness, and he brought it up and that she immediately ignored it. Immediately dodged it, didn't address it, didn't mention it, didn't acknowledge it. That shows a lot about who she is. So I'm going to go ahead and be out for her. I was already out for Karen Bass. So it's a good look for him. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it.
I never heard the term super meth before until yesterday. I'm like, super meth. I'm like, I've heard of meth. I watched Breaking Bad, but I never heard of super meth. You know, I heard of, some of the other drugs out there, but I was like, wow, super meth. This is something.
I think I'm just happy to see an intelligent Republican debating crazy Democrats and making them look stupid while he's debating them. I think that's very helpful. It's good to see somebody's on their toes. He can respond to the accusation questions on the spot. And I think that's very powerful when it comes to running for election during a debate time. We need to see more of that.
I'm going to keep singing Saca la Basura, okay? Because I agree with him 100%. We not playing the socialists nor the woke, both of them, and regardless of what they like to say, that she's trying to say that they're working together. No, I've seen Mayor Bass and Nitya together. I've seen them together. So that is the socialist, the DSA candidate, and the woke liberal candidate. You put them together, they're trying to figure out who's going to run against Spencer, because Spencer is dragging them through the dirt, because all of his ads, and then I'll land my plane on this. All of his ads are literally, they're not the walking together, holding hands, and LA, we can be better together. It's none of that. This is what our community looks like. Oh, these houses are still burnt down. There's no railway. Look at all the addicts on the street. And he's showing everything. And he's keeping it 100. And I think that is why he is effective, because he's not playing the politics. He's giving them the real.
If I into any travel, I'd go out there and help him. He is very impressive to me. And really, they need to duplicate this at every place they can. First of all, I just looked up super meth because I didn't know what that is, but it sounds terrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah, this is definitely no good. Here's the deal. The so-called homeless situation in most of these major cities is a money laundering scheme. They already know they're not going to house these people. They don't build any affordable housing. They can't build any affordable housing. They can't put them anywhere. This is just a way to continue funneling money. And the reason that third woman who can't win, she looks like she's Indian. I'm not sure. I said she appears as though she is Indian. The reason she is staying in the race is so when the polls start to show whichever one of them is going to win, she will cut the deal for a job or for
in the administration or something
in condition to her getting out of the race and throwing her support. So this is the same game that is always being played, where people who know they won't win could, want to just hold maybe 8 to 10 or 12%, but it's the exact 8 to 10 to 12%. You need to be the front runner. They continue to hold out until it's time for them to cut a deal. And that's all she's doing. So let's not be fooled by her. Let's ignore her. This race is between Spencer Pratt and Mayor Cuba-loving Karen Bass. Now, what was she down in the Congo?
Ghana?
Where was she dancing?
She was in Cuba and Ghana.
When the fires happened Ghana.
No, she was down in Ghana.
When the fires hit. There was no water. and,
That's
and,
right.
and never could come back. It took her days to make a statement, and even when she did, nobody knew what it said. Karen Bass has to go. In LA, if you ever want the Palisades back, this is what I mean by illegal seizure of your property. They are coming for your property. They want to build welfare housing along the Pacific Coast Highway, and they want to give that. They do not want single wealthy people to have that property, and you know that because that's why all of those homes burned down, and none of them have been rebuilt. In fact, most of them can't even get permits to rebuild. The process is so labor intensive to get a permit. What they want is for you to run out of money so you can't pay your mortgage, your insurance company to give up and not be able to give you what you need to rebuild. You go ahead and sell it for pennies on the dollar, and the city and their wealthy friends can come and pick. That is some of the best real estate in the entire country, and they want it. They're not leaving you out in the cold and miserable for no reason. They want your land. They want your land. You're never getting this house as long as this regime is in place. You will never build back. Your kids will never go back to that school. You will never have that community again. You may not get it anyway, but you absolutely guaranteed not to get it. If Karen Bass is back in office, you better go with Spencer Pratt or anybody. I don't care who it is that says they can run. Anybody, because Karen Bass is definitely not going to give you your home back.
To the Mayor Karen Bass's, the 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before, and Mayor Karen Bass denied it. So they may have been available, but they didn't have the equipment they needed. Not to mention Janice Quinones, who Mayor Karen Bass put into her position of power at the LADWP. She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters needed to put out these fires. A lot of people talk about climate change and hurricane force winds. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. So without those two reservoirs filled with 117 million gallons and 5 million gallons, these firefighters had to fly all the way to Malibu and Encino to get water. So that, to me, is the most dangerous thing that the mayor put us up against.
Mr. Pratt, a follow-up here, though. What would you do moving forward that would make this better 2 years from now if we face the same situation?
Well, first off, as mayor, I will never drain the reservoirs that we need for wildfire protection. There's this conspiracy now that they're empty, that they were for drinking water. But if you research it, they were actually made for wildfire protection. As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid the water system goes down again, these dip sites that will be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying several things that are completely inaccurate. First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. He is correct. 1 million years ago, it was for wildfires, but over the last 30, 40 years, it's been for drinking water. He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly. And so the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour, and the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had two other reservoirs totaling 8 billion gallons that were available. But could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
I have to interrupt you. No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She called me a liar.
I
don't believe she did.
She said
I did not hear that.
This up.
I did not.
We're not going to debate the issue.
Everything she said was not true. And I think he said you can Google it and find out. My point is that when a politician is willing to lie, when people can actually find out what the facts are, that tells you don't need to be voting for them.
So I'm looking this up right now because what she had said, I'll just give you from an aviation perspective. If it actually was gusting to 100, I'd have to look into every single area. I'm not going to take either of them on blind faith. But if it was 40, which is what she said immediately, you can take off from 40 miles per hour. A Black Hawk can take in 40 miles per hour. A Chinook can take off. And those are the two main ones, at least the Army uses to fight fires on the helicopter side of the house. So that's not exactly true at all whatsoever. And I noticed how she completely dodged emptying the reservoirs. She said that one was used millions of years ago, which is also pure hyperbole. And you should not be talking like that as a mayor. But she said that she didn't even address it at all whatsoever. And so I'm happy that he called her out on that. Disappointed with the moderators of the live. He did not say that he did say she's a talented liar. That's fine. If that's the line for name calling, then we have a problem. If I'm a moderator, hey, look it up right now. Look it up right now. When Celeste winds up getting down and going to one of these universities and talking to these young students, she will have a computer with her when she's reporting the Garden Project. We're not playing that game anymore. Stop the entire debate. Look it up right now. Who is telling the truth? And then tell all of America, hey, so Mayor Karen Bass just lied about this fact. We see right here, whatever it was, right, that these were the predominant wins for this and that she reduced the reservoir. We're not moving by this question. We're not going to the next one until we get an answer to this. I wish every debate was handled that way so that at least the American people wouldn't be confused. I keep my same stance. I can see Californians listening to this, the ones who voted for her and saying, oh, look at this horrible white man who's saying all these untrue things. Go ahead, Karen Bass. Don't let him talk down to you like that. She said he's lying. He must be lying. We'll have to see. I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to come back here at the end of this year. And if she winds up winning again, I'm not going to be a happy camper. I don't think she should be able to run again after what happened in Los Angeles. I'm voting for this gentleman 10 times out of 10.
That's right.
I agree with Celeste. If I had the time, the energy, or the inclination, I would go down to California. Put me on the team, coach, because I want to make sure people know about this. I'm skeptical, y'all. I'll tell you the truth. It's not that I don't have hope. Frosted Flakes, I saw you. It's not that I don't have hope. I would like for this to change. I would like for the country to change. I have hope in Jesus, though. I don't have hope in Californians' ability to see the truth. No,
you're absolutely right. And to be honest with you, I think that's where we are in a lot of these places where you have no choice but to put your faith in the Lord.
That's right.
Stand firm in your faith. Do not trust in these politicians. The government has shown us that they are not the ones to help, feed, nor save us. We got to continue to put our trust in the Lord.
And the Lord has been known to topple governments and topple cities and topple leaders, so he can do it.
Yeah, he absolutely can do it.
As you all know, is a staple of downtown Los Angeles, is asking all of you on the stage right now to end the needle run giveaway program. So my question, Mayor, first of all to you, yes or no? It's run by the city run needle program.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Rahman?
No.
Mr. Pratt?
Absolutely no needles and pipes for drug addicts on the street ever.
Got it. I'll take that as a yes.
Sorry.
You believe that the government is giving away needles, pipes, and other paraphernalia for people to do drugs?
Democratic government,
That is unbelievable to me that this is happening. I've never seen a thing. There was a time that you get arrested just for having a crack pipe. Now they're providing them to you to smoke it all you want.
You remember the Biden administration did that. They had packs that they were distributing. And in the packs, they had clean needles, they had crack pipes, they had all of the paraphernalia that you would need so that you could sit outside and shoot up and smoke and do whatever's required. See, these drugs and these habits have a lot of requirements. You can't just get into this willy-nilly. There are certain things that you need. And the government was absolutely there to supply it. If there has ever been an argument for smaller government, I mean, my God, can you get a better one than this? But Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were distributing packs in cities all over the country. They had something like $75 billion that they had allocated towards creating these drug packs. And like he said, Spencer Pratt has said something about being safe inside is what is making it dangerous outside. All of this stuff is being created. Drug addicts are being created. All of this homelessness, a lot of this, he's right about the 90% that comes from drug addicts. This is all being created as a money laundering opportunity. That's all this is. But I don't want us, again, to get away from the fact that we don't want the great to be the enemy of the perfect. It is possible, maybe even likely, that Spencer Pratt won't win. But what he is doing, he's already won. Because what he is doing is he is making people ashamed of their vote. He is making people have to say, well, why are you voting for her? Because you're not going to get back in your home. We're not going to get rid of this homeless problem. We're not going to attack the drug problem. We're not going to attack the illegal immigration problem. What reason? And it is making people have to pull off the mask and come up, and what they cannot tell you, their votes are irrational because their votes are based on, I want a government to protect me because I have some feelings and I need the government and love me in a way in which I've never felt parented and loved. People do not know that about themselves often, and the ones who do are too ashamed to say it, and they hide behind all of these so-called feel-good, virtuous policies. And what he is doing is he is removing all of that. He is removing the virtue, and he's not allowing them to access this virtue. They're going to have to stand there and explain why they are willing to hurt themselves. They're going to, and their inability and their frustration at having to do that is what may save the rest of the nation. And we may sacrifice California in this regard to save the rest of the nation. Go ahead, Spencer Pratt. You don't have any bigger fan than me.
Matthew 24, as in the days of Noah, because I never thought I would see a day where they're handing out illegal substance paraphernalia just to be doing that. But you know, how are you going to own nothing and be happy? How are they going to control people unless by dumbing them down, having them strung out on illegal substances, can't fend for themselves, sleeping and living in tents on the street. The saddest thing I've ever seen over there in California is that they go and they steal dogs to test the fent on the dogs to make sure that it doesn't hurt them. The government there knows that. So all of the sick behavior that they have going on over there. Celeste is right. Sometimes you running a race is not about you winning. It's about putting that mirror in front of the people that voted and make them see this. I want you to know your moral standards. I want you to know what you actually stand for, because you went out there and voted for this immoral, disgusting leadership. You have to own that this is what you chose because you had something better. And now I don't want to hear you complain about one thing ever again. Y'all, if y'all don't believe we're living in the last days, I think they just showed you all of that.
Do you see how prepared he was when she said that the winds were 100 miles an hour? He said no, that was for the Altadena fire, the Palisades fire, and he said they were 40 meteorologist networks that reported that in the first 6 hours of the Palisades fire was never went over the winds over 40 miles an hour. That's what you say about being prepared and stopping them right where they speak.
And I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on any of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. 50% of you guys that watch the channel are not subscribed. Hit that daggone subscribe button. It costs you nothing to subscribe. But if you'd like to go the extra mile, obviously, you can join the ARP family. You can buy your brother a coffee. You can hit the Cash App as well. Those links are in the description box below. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Those of you guys that watch and support what we're doing over here, you know we're fighting an uphill battle. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. Then the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.